Hey everyone, this is Cosmodius, and I'm going to be making another video today. This video is going to be about the progress report on my base, but I'm specifically going to only go over one room that I've been working on. And so this room is the engineering room. So we'll go ahead and start. I made a separate save just for this, um, because I started working on the um, the more detailed aspects of this. So I wanted to keep everything modular still for anyone if they want my map that has no rooms assigned really. They could just do whatever they want with it. That would be a different save that I can put up. So let's begin by waiting until this gets low to a certain temperature, and then we'll turn this off. So the pressure's dropping. I'm gonna actually go over this apparatus really quick after you know what? I think I'll go ahead and shut it off. It's not really dropping that much. Um, um, no, it's good. Okay. So here's how this works. Um, Essentially, the way I set up this room for now, temporarily, is that all the power that's being used is coming from these RTGs, going into these batteries, and whereas these ones are going into these transformers. So the reason I use the large transformers on the side, and this computer is temporary, I can actually get rid of it. Let's go ahead actually and oh my goodness. Make this look more aesthetically appeasing. So here's my logic writer for the gas fuel generator I previously used. I'm now getting rid of it. I don't have any use for it anymore, so. All right, and then we'll just quick save. And so I'll go ahead and explain. We'll turn that off for now. Um, so the base has a division of 4 batteries that are station batteries. And essentially, this is more than enough batteries to pretty much do anything with. However, that means I can have as much free time as I want to essentially design the rest of the base and then have this room downscaled to match the requirements of the base. So it makes it a lot easier for me to kind of tune it later on. And so this generator will go in that direction, while this generator here, it'll essentially be, this one will be used for the, so as y'all can see, I also added the rooms I said I was going to add. This one will be yep, this one's the general supply storage. This one's the mining tool storage. And I have officially assigned all the rooms properly. I put a actual sign on them. I gave them all doors so I can start working on this base. The other one I believe I didn't actually have in a modular fashion. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about the outside real quick. So the transformer on this side over here, it'll power the living quarters and the lounge, as well as the hydroponics and the storage for the canisters. And man, that room's actually going to have a lot of interesting stuff. The canister storage room will have interesting solutions for doing atmospherics and everything in this base, but it also powers the power generation room itself. And so I had it come up around here and to the second floor, and I figured it'd be perfect to use a second floor like this. Here's the nuclear power and everything like that, and we can essentially wire everything up through cryo or even through the ceiling here, if we have to, depending on, because the wire stops before here, we can actually run the heavy cable right up and into the places we want them to go. The other one powers everything else. And questionably, I'm not really sure how I want to do this, because there are some things in this game that require um, the entire power of a single transformer. So um, I'm going to give each room its own transformer, and I'm going to give each room its own area power control, essentially. I think that'd be proper to do. So we have a light switch here. Turn the lights off. You still see my light on. Turn it off. And you see this one is going to be for whenever the air gets low and you can't breathe anymore. So over here we have our fuel tank. Let me go ahead and turn this on. Our fuel tank essentially is something you would refill at the actual canister storage room. Or no, the gas mixer room, whatever you want to call it. We'll just call it canister storage. And over here is our coolant, which is not water. Despite the fact that it says it's water, it's not. I'm going to go ahead and rename it right now. This coolant is actually a mix of two things. Wow, why does it always do this? All right, so it's a mix of nitrous oxide and water. And essentially the mix is 2 water to 1 nitrous oxide. And the reason why I chose that mix is I experimented a little bit with doing a 1-to-1. Funny things happen. Developer updated the game again. Funny things happened again. And essentially the ratio of, and I guess the points in which the gases and liquids react or phase change acted kind of funny. And so I realized that water is actually something that phase changes at a time where I don't really want it to. I wanted to get it as close as to room temperature as I can. And I realized that I'd have to really control the pressure to do that. But to keep it all a gas or to keep it all a liquid, I have to, it all has to go in this room. All right, so that's pretty important. So essentially what I've done here is I made a mix of nitrous oxide and water into this liquid tank, which required me to spawn a nitrous oxide tank, which starts liquefying immediately because of the pressure being so high. And then I condensed it, and that's how I essentially got my mix. I used the empty tank as well, and I put it next to the water tank, so that way it wouldn't overpressurize and explode in my face. The other one I made, I deleted, but essentially it made 2 of these tanks, and they're essentially a pretty good mix for now. But essentially that's my coolant. So my coolant is a mix of 2 gases which influence each other's temperature variability. And I'm not sure if that's really happening, if it's bugged, or if the developer, I don't really know anything about it. I just think this is working, so we're doing it. So this here is a pipe heater, and it has to manually be turned on. And the job of the pipe heater is to get this whole system started, which right here you can see that it has 1 megapascal, and this is set to 1 megapascal. And when this is on, it purges and immediately starts purging that gas of nitrous oxide. And the water essentially gets to act as full-time non-steam coolant because it really won't ever get hot enough to just go off. So that's kind of a bad thing, but I did my best here, so I don't know what to say. So here we have this tank here. It's an inline tank. And we got another inline tank, and these are both to handle the pressures that both sides will receive. The only one that doesn't have an inline tank as a part of the setup is this thing right here, which has a pipe analyzer, and the pipe analyzer helps control the pressure inside of it by turning on and off this turbo pump as needed, and it condenses everything right into liquid. So this turbo pump is to force a condensation of everything. I could actually make it go really, really high. I'm not sure if that's going to be a good idea or not. I can change the settings. It's not going to affect anything at all. Let's see, if I do this, what does it do? It immediately drops the pressure. And so what this button does is it turns these vents on. I only really need 2 vents, one to pump in, one to push out. I just don't know how to code them yet or set them up, so I'm not going to play with that yet. I could easily figure it out. I'm not going to. I just wanted to get this working. That's all I cared about. And so here we're letting the pressure drop, and we'll go ahead and let it drop all the way to 20. And then I'm going to go over my system some more. So essentially, up here you can see that there's a heat exchanger. The heat exchanger is between the same gas line from the liquid. Essentially, the liquid turns into gas and exchanges temperature with itself while cooling. So when it's cool enough, it will actually reduce all of the gas inside of it because it condenses back into liquid and is pushed right back into the liquid side. That was my goal, that's what it does, and that was the whole plan. So essentially, that's all it does. In here, I do have one problem, and that is that I don't have a switch to trigger this, and this is the manual ejection valve, and it ejects anything that comes out of the or this gas fuel generator in the system here. It ejects it into space, as you can see, and right now it's not doing anything because it's not on. So I want people to manually load gases. So these are likely going to be permanently right here. Though I might move this over, I'm not really sure yet. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to do, wasn't it? Okay, well, here's what we'll do. We won't move them over, but we'll add a locker right there, I think. Let me see. Yeah, we'll add a locker right here. And I think it's appropriate to put one here because it's got a good view of the window in the hallway. So if somebody wants something out the locker, they come over here. And as of right now, I'm not really done wiring this room up. Just not done doing it. But I'll go ahead and set the grading so that everyone gets an idea of what it will look like when we are done. And that room with the steam turbine will stay without grading because I think that looks better. All right, and so we're gonna spray this entire room a color based on what we decide the color coding for this room is going to be ultimately. And so that being said, let's see, it's still going down, still going down. It's almost 20 pressure, but we're not going to care yet. We have the chip over here from the computer, which we aren't going to show off, but essentially as soon as we turn this on, it tries to automate the process of cooling. That being said, I don't think it works well yet. See, the gas is going out there. And we tried to set it up so that way it'll exponentially start to slow down the growth of the temperature using these radiators. And I know some people are against that method, but um, essentially, as long as you can slap on more radiators, it does work. It's just not working at this moment because I haven't finished setting it up properly and doing enough tests or anything. So that's kind of a bad thing. And there it is. It turns off and it turns back on because the switch is being automatically controlled. And now we turn the switch off, and everything starts pumping in here again. So this right here has to essentially turn on, condense, heat this up, and it gets everything going. So that means that if we want to get the whole system actually running again, then once this all actually comes in here, we actually, yes, I know, I'm saying actually a lot, have to turn the heater on. We have no choice but to turn the heater on, get the heat up, and then this divides the gas out more quickly. When it gets to a certain point, that separates the gas. That gas quickly cools, and in turn, it gives enough pressure on this side, which cools over here. So that's the idea. That's the idea. Let me see how fast this is even releasing gas. Yeah, there's no gas in here at all, is there? Nope. I don't think it released anything. I don't think it broke or anything like that either. So that's... Huh. Oh yeah, the pressure just drops continuously because there's nothing in there to do. So that's one thing I got to kind of work on. I would prefer just, you see, I can't turn it on because it's controlled by this over here. So maybe I can turn this down, I think. The most pressure that can come in here is basically 101. It can't go over that. Um, and now it should stop. Keeps trying to go, doesn't succeed. And then we come over here, look at this. It doesn't ever go up in pressure enough. We don't see, oh, I'm so silly. Nope, nope, nothing at all. I hate to say it, but I think we have to probably keep the turbo pipe off a little bit, depending on what we're doing. Maybe even only turn it on when we're done. I don't really know. No, like we couldn't do that. That'd be stupid. That wouldn't work anymore. So anyway, yeah, I'm working on this, and this is my current little project. And this is how the room would look. So I think that's pretty much it. I don't know if I gave a good run view over this, but essentially I put my purge valve here. I should probably set it down. Yeah, I think I'll set it down one or two. I'll set it down two. I'll set it down two. I think that will actually help. We'll go ahead and do this. Try again. Here we go. Now it's actually getting something. The temperature in the room's still going too high. And it's not cooling fast enough. It's going up 0.1 degrees Celsius every second. All right, so yeah, we just lack radiators. That's pretty much the current problem with our system. And if it gets worse, we'll just pinch the purge valve harder. That's all we'll have to do. And I think that should be appropriate because we're not going to be losing any gas from here anytime soon. So, yeah, this looks like it should work. It's just going to send it back here. Nothing's going to explode or any of the funny stuff that everybody else is saying is happening in their beta version. And essentially, my gas from here, my rocket fuel, it could be reconsolidated instead of being thrown right out into space, but I'm choosing not to reconsolidate it yet because I really want to get this set up completely before I do that. And here's my actual version so far. So I would show the code, but I deleted the computer. Sorry about that. We're going to come up here anyway, and I pretty much added doors everywhere that I'm going to need doors. And no, I am not enabling shading right now, but essentially this is how the facility. I don't know if I showed it off. Did I? Yeah. I didn't show it off like this. I don't think I did. But we already added doors, the aesthetics that we're going to use, etc. Um, I may have showed it off already, but anyway, so yeah, I did. So thank you guys for watching. This is going to be the end of my video, and that pretty much um, sums up my progress. So far, that's the only room I have set up. So have a good one.